t'arrives pas à parler, tu me regardes ou un truc dans le genre, et moi j'essaierai de te Hello, today I present our project portfolio, Kurota no Kami's game. My name is Kaima Butoi, and in this project I had the role of a game designer, a tester, a programmer, a level designer, and artist. Um,
And my name is Nidigashan, and my role was to do the backend as well as help him design the levels, and also manage the sprites and as well as the audio.
Kurota no Kami is a game based on several platform game like Mario, Level Devil, Ori, and Geometry Dash. Um, this graph shows how much we got inspired by this game. As you can see, we were more inspired by Level Devil because this game is very much in line with we wanted to create.
Kurata no Kani's main function was to drive players crazy because the level layouts are mostly composed of traps and obstacles that you have to go through. And once you die, have to go back from the beginning, and it will drive a player crazy because you have 4 levels and it's nearly impossible to complete, and you have to make a perfect run. As for the tech we use for the game development, we used Unity, VS Code, and the language C#. And we also used Git and GitHub for the versioning.
And for the landing page, I used HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The game engine is composed of 3 sections: game manager, level manager, physical object, and collision. In game manager, um, manages a game process, a keyboard mouse. And the section physical object collision is managing the game simulation, the object interaction, and the collision detection. And level manager sections manages level management, level data, the sprite, and the audio.
For this part, the code snippet that I have has 2 programs that I have in my game. As you can see in the first picture that we have, the player is facing the left and the other one next to it is facing the right. And I use a simple flip function that rotates the player each side when we press the left or right button. And the second code that I have is a method that I use for ground checking. And as you can see, it's a public bool, and the only states possible in this variable is true or false.
For a project, we knew kind of a game we want to make from outset. For the first week, we research the description of project and why create project. For the second week, project design, and then the third week, project development. I start write a code, box collider, collision, movement. The 4 week improvement in animation. I animate the character, the traps, and the interaction of collision and the character, and what you see later for future addition.
As for the challenges we encountered during the project, was the first one is the time management. Since I live far from Toulouse, I had to move in with my partner, and that took a little bit of time. And afterwards, we had a learning process while learning how to use Unity, because we didn't use it before, as well as the C# language. And our workflow was different because we don't work at the same time, but we managed to go with it. And the second issue I had was the previous ground check method that I used. It was the player getting stuck with the jump function, and the player would get stuck on the floor, and the jump function would stay on while it's on the ground. And the new function that I used fixed that issue, and we managed to update the game.
Virtual Edition, we plan to integrate new maps, new character, more function for the player, system menu for regular volume and luminosity, and a section multiplayer for the group.
Now we're going to start the game. As you can see, this is the main menu of our game. The buttons are pretty basic, but it does the job. This is the level selection panel. And we are going to select the second one because it's the easiest one to complete right now, so we can show you an example of it. As you can see, my colleague is really bad at the game. He dies most of the time, so it ends up being a long time. So I hope he can make it faster because he has to finish it to show you how it works. You also have to get the key that's scattered around the ground to open the final gate, because if you don't have the key, you cannot go through the portal and go to the next level. There you go, he finished it. And it goes straight to the next level. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions?
How did you work together in terms of code review and everything? One is coding and the other one is reviewing the code, or what was the process in terms of work?
When we used to code, since we're living together right now, one is next to us, and we're recording, we're checking, and if there's something that is wrong, the other one checks, and we get turned by coding. And since we're together, it's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, it answers. And why a video game for your project?
We're going to orient ourselves towards the specialization IRF for the second year, and that's why we thought a game would be fine, and it would be more towards our learning process.
Okay. Don't be shy.
Yes. I was wondering if you are going to continue working on the game after today.
We have a few levels planned, and we want to add a character selection panel when we can choose more player, and to have more character to play with, as well as more functions like dashing or double jump, so we can make the game even harder.
Thank you.
The setting menu,
Yeah.
now it's not.
It's not operational yet because we
Okay.
didn't have time to do it.
Okay.
And we want to add the volume settings in it, as well as if the user wants to change the keypad function, like moving with another button or something else, you can change it. And
Okay.
that's all we right now have in mind.
Okay. And why the setting menu? It's not in the first scope.
Because we had an issue with the ground checking method that took a lot of time, because I changed the method, and it took me a long time before I changed the method.
Okay. Thank you. Other question?
No other questions?
It's okay.
Okay. Thank you, Didier and
Thank you.
Karim.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your presence today. As disability-related information is a necessity to help concerned people and is actually lacking easy access, I'm presenting today NDEase, an accessible single-page application dedicated to centralized disability-related articles and resources. So my name is Arwen Dumont. I'm from Cohort 22, and for this project I will have the role of front-end and back-end developer as well as the web designer of the project. What inspired me for this project is the multiple internships in various handicap structures of 2 months each that I did in high school. I was really moved by the public welcome there, and I acknowledge, the issues regarding information access and guidance. And as I changed career path, from social to web development, I decided to create a meaningful project for my end of the year. So for the technologies I used, for the front-end part, I mainly used HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, as it is most used in web development. And for the back, I went for Python, Django, and SQLite, which is the database language in the basic configuration of Django. I chose Django because I wanted to learn a new technology, and it's most used, once again, in web development, and it helps to avoid common security mistakes. And for the accessible part of my project, I chose to use ARIA labels. So it's short for Accessible Rich Internet Applications, which is a set of rules, states, and properties that are added to HTML elements as tags. And it permits to ensure the recognition of those elements, mostly for screen readers. So for the web architecture of my project, the user sends a request to the user interface, so the front part, that then sends a request to the backend part, who in turn might fetch data from the database to answer the front and therefore the user's request. As for the code snippet, I chose the main view to fetch articles by RSS feeds, to sort them by publication date, and to save article titles and links to the database. So now it's time for a little demo of my project. So when you first come across my website, you can see a little about section that is there to introduce my project and to introduce its features. Then we have the main feature, which is a list of articles. So we have main keywords to help researching anything more precisely. We can, of course, go and see the whole article. Then we have a pagination system to make sure that the page is not too loaded, but it takes a little time to charge, I'm sorry. And so we can see that it's moving. It's way faster by the end. Then we can search anything we want. So for example, the keyword telephone. So that every article that contains telephone in the title of the article or the summary of it can show. So as for the login, we can log into my website, and of course register. I forgot to clean it, but let's say, for example, this. This. Of course, it's not a really good password that I put in. And when we are logged in, yes, we have access to a reading list that is now empty, but you can add anything any articles you like or you don't have time to read in the moment you see it. And of course, remove them if you already, if you don't have any use of it anymore. So that's it for my demo. So as for the timeline of my project, for the first week, it was much more of a research phase. So I did lots of thinking and lots of planning for the weeks to come to create a meaningful project. For the second week of my timeline, I started to work on the backend part because I chose to approach a new technology and I wanted to make sure it would be functional at the end of for the deadline. I started to code the main features separately to have a better understanding of Django at first. Then on the third week, I started to assemble all the features into one whole project. And I decided to add some basic JavaScript and HTML to have a functional user interface. And on the last week, I went full on CSS and JavaScript to create a dynamic and appealing website. For the challenges I encountered in my project, the whole project, in itself was a challenge because I can easily follow a roadmap, but it's more complicated for me to create and have interesting ideas in the whole thing of creation of a project. And I lacked some framework and discipline at some times. And for the technical aspect of my project, learning a new technology by directly using it is quite challenging, and I struggle to create a web page from scratch without any templates. So for the next steps, I plan to take the accessibility aspect of the project a step higher, with options for font sizes, for instance. I would like to implement a calendar feature to reference future events related to handicap. To help to assemble people. And then I would like to assemble a catalog of professionals and structures suitable for disability. And create a chat system maybe to share experience between identified users. And thank you for your attention. And do you have any questions?
Yes, why the website today is on local only and not on the web?
Compliqué la logistique. It's only on localhost because I'm not satisfied with it enough, with all the features it had. I want to make it more complete, maybe, before proposing it to any public.
I have a question about the search engine, and I guess that you save all the posts in your database. If you have, no, you don't. So I was wondering, how does the search engine works?
It works because I used a filter to search through any words that the RSS feeds fournit. J'ai perdu mon mot, mais fournit. And yes, I only save articles, links, and titles in the database for the reading list, so that you can access it and have it any time you want, even with the logout of the user.
Do you use a library to animate the view? A library to animate the front end, it's only native JavaScript?
It's only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It was kind of kind of a headache sometimes, but made it work.
Thank you. Can you explain in easily your model data on the database or data model in the database? Can you? Thank you.
I use the so Django comes with a pre-configuration, and there is a basic database that is implemented in it, and there's this whole panel of Django admin control page, and I use this to make sure that everything is correctly saved and everything. If that answers your questions, I don't know.
The different table to use in your application, what is in the database? How much? And the relation between the different table to use in your database.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand at first. I only have, I would say, 2 tables, since it only takes 2 elements for each articles that it fetched, and the other part. That's all. Okay, thank you.
So you talked about accessibility and ARIA labels. So I was wondering if you had a strategy to make sure that your website was fully accessible, or at least to have metrics about what percentage of disabilities you cover on your website.
Yes, I used, so for testing the accessibility part of my website, I used a tool, an extension from Chrome that is really helpful because it points everything that is not accessible. So I used it to make sure that the most I could do was functional. And it's not fully functional right now because it's still something that I work on, and it's still something that I have to grasp everything in the concept. But yeah, that's it.
Maybe I'm wrong, but before being locked in your account, the origin of the article is not visible. There is a reason or not? The source, yes.
No, it's visible, but not
By default? Sorry.
It's visible, but not all articles that I fetch from RSS feeds have a basic little sentence. have a basic little sentence to say that obviously the article is not stolen or anything, and it's I can show you, maybe it would be easier. Up. Now it's this little sentence here.
Yes,
it's a bit
after being logged in before, I'm not sure.
After being logged in. Before?
Yeah.
It was still there before.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's okay. It's a bit long to charge. I'm really sorry about it, but that's okay.
No,
Oh, it's still there. Yeah. No, maybe it was a little mistake on my part. I don't know. Yes.
Thank you. It's possible for the user to delete the account on this version or no?
Not really.
Okay, thank you.
There's still much work to do. That's why I didn't post it at the moment. Okay. That's it.
You just talked a few minutes ago that you have a plugin on Chrome to test the accessibility. Is it possible to have a demo because it's for disabled, and we see the website for not disabled. So if you can maybe show us what is the view of the website with this plugin.
Hoopla.
Even if not everything is perfect, just to close you.
Yes, not everything is perfect, but I use this one, which I used quick access to. I'm not sure I used this one, in fact. That's bad. There is a visual helper. So now the only things I have is that there's not much contrast for the links. So I still have some things to implement and to fix. But yeah, that presents itself like this. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Ismael. I'm a student from Alberton School. I'm C22 and
Hello everyone, I am Cédric Guérin. I am a student in Alberton for C22. I talk our project. Our project très ordinaire is a platform online for buying and selling second-hand object. It target collectionner souls, and who want to give a second life of the object.
I work the front-end part, that is to say the interaction part, and Cedric works the front-end part, and that is the visual part.
After looking at website like Le Bon Coin and Vinted, we came up with the idea of sharing our collectioner soul, and because we also notice that many objects are thrown away when they could be useful.
For the front-end part, Cedric he uses JavaScript, HTML and CSS, and for the back-end part, I use MySQL and Node.js. This code register a user in the database. The first check it's that verify if all champ is required, and if it check if his email is already in use. If not, it answer a user in a database, and he hash the password for security.
To collaborate efficiently, we use Trello for to keep an eye on task completion, GitHub for to make and push our code in branch, and Discord for to remote talk.
First of all, we had to think about a project and then produce the first mockups. And secondly, we carry out the first front-end and the back-end implementation.
Thirdly, we carried out deployment test to check if it work. And finally, we made the final modification and deploy our website.
In the technical challenge, we had a few problems with forms that didn't work.
In the no technical challenge, we had a slight delay before deadline. This project remind us the importance of communication, teamwork, and the links between front end and back end. Now, it's a time of the demo. Ah oui.
Here is the login page. We can register and log in once. Sorry. When you are connected, you have a redirection to the home page. This is the category page. And this is the selling page. And the page of the contact. If either he have a problem, he have a possibility for contact me or my friend Cédric per phone or email. And this button is for when you push the article, he come in the category page. For example, I push the article of the object. I have, if I'm not the owner of the publication, I have a possibility for hide in my cart of or contact the owner. And if it's my publication, I have a possibility for modify the publication. For example, that or delete the publication. And if you add the article on your cart, you have a possibility for delete the article of your shopping cart. And I work on the buy button for later. And you have total montant for your article of your shows. And that's all. Thank you. Thank you for attention. And do you have any question? Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. And I have the question about the database SQL Server. No, it's MySQL. I'm sorry. What is the different table to use in your application?
I use project table For the project, I use project table. It's his name. It's when owner of the publication push the publication of the category page. He publication save with the ID with the IG on the database, and if possible for search the user or the publication via the IG on in the database. And for the registration, it's pareil.
Have you securized communication between backend and frontend? I think is a API connection. Have you securized your communication between backend and front-end application?
Yes, for the API, I push the code in the root directory, and for the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, he push the code in var category in the server directory. Sorry. And do you have?
So, what are the next steps for your website before putting it into production from your point of view?
For the next step in the website, after Alberton School, with my colleague, with my friend Cédric, on a réfléchi, and I work on that after Alberton for a seriously project, and so is that.
Yes, one question is regarding when you create a product on the system. There is no validation. There is a reason, or it's a functionality maybe that you have in mind. Yes, you can create a product, a new. You can add a new article, for example. You have no validation. It means you can create everything with no limitation, or is a functionality that you think for the next step? Oh, sorry.
I don't understand. Sorry.
No problem. Yes, thank you. I have the question. Now we have Le Bon Coin. Okay, and you have Trésor d'hier. What is the value between Le Bon Coin?
Her website, he make highlight object when is very old for the collectioner's souls.
For you, Le Bon Coin is for everybody, if for everybody, and your website is only for specialists. That's what you mean? Or also, okay, okay. And maybe one last question: can you go back to the? Okay, can we see the website? The website. Le site sur le navigateur. Why the menu change? There is a reason why the menu change, move. Sometimes accueil is on the left, sometimes is on the right, sometimes on the middle. There is a specific reason or no? No. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I have the last question. For the user to create an account, it is possible for the user to delete the account? Okay. No, the account of the user, like for example, Cedric at Gmail. Okay, it's not possible to delete the account. Delete.
No, is not possible, but I work on that, and later it's possible when I finish the design and the button for yes. In the next step, I add a picture of the user and modify the name, number. If the user he have envie of change number, name, or etc. I work on that. Thank you. Thank you.
So, hello everyone. Today I'm going to present you my portfolio project, which is an intranet for a drone service company that is named Cartotrack. So, a little presentation of the team. I worked alone. I'm Nathan Reynal. I'm a student from C22, and I would like to become a full-stack developer. And as I was alone, I manage the back-end and the front-end. So let's talk about the inspiration of the project. I met someone in my town because I didn't know what to do, actually. So I met someone, Julien, that told me he was working in a drone company and he wanted to create his own company, and he needed someone that mastered Python in order to help him. So I proposed my services as a student in Python, and I told him I could handle an intranet in order to manage the team and the company later. So here is a quick overview of what his job is looking like. And let's continue with a little demo of what I've realized. So here is the login page. I input my IDs. 1 second. And you can connect. I don't know why there is a little bug, a graphical bug. I don't think it's my project. So here you are on the main page, the dashboard. You have the work in progress. As a messagery, we are using the Discord. So a little Discord. Here we have the events to come with a Google Calendar. And you can import documents. It was a requirement from him to be able to import and save documents on the intranet. As every intranet, you have a user list with a user management. You can add user, you can edit user, etc., like that. You have a profile page if you want to edit your profile. As I say, the message is connecting to a Discord server. The calendar, the same, is opening a window on the Google Calendar. You have the document management, and the task is in progress in order to know what you are doing. And that's all for the demo. So let's continue. The technology I used for the environment, I use VS Code and Git and GitHub to work on branch and merge. For the backend, I use Python and Flask for the root. The databases for user management, I use SQLite, and for the documents, I use MongoDB. And for the front end, I worked on React, so obviously Node and CSS. About the architecture, it's quite simple. You are a user, you are connecting to a web page, so the front end is displayed. And every time you click on a button, or not even clicking, the Axios send a request to the Flask and the Python, and if it needs, to the databases, and then the response to the front end. So the result is displayed on the page. So a little algorithm. Here is a class for user management, for created user, with all the standard parameters. And here I used a mapper in order to carry the role management, because obviously if you are an administrator, or I called it a super user, you have access to more functionalities than if you are only a collaborator or an invité, like the opportunity to create roles. And so the idea is to use a polymorphic identity that directly modify in the database the role of the user. About the timeline, so I spent the first 2 weeks to create the backend. So the classes, the user and the tasks, the databases, as I said, SQLite and MongoDB, and the routes with Flask to connect the back and the front. And next, I worked on the front. So as I'm using React, I created components that later I could add to the pages and the styling in the vanilla CSS. And until today, I worked on it, I improved it, I did more components. I connected to the Google API in order to display the events directly in the dashboard. And I debugged, and then I thought it was working, and it wasn't actually, so I debugged again. The challenges, I wanted to work on React because it's modular and it's easier for the front end, and it's a la mode, as I would say. But it's a lot of learning, and I handled it. Connecting to the external API, not the Google API, I thought it was easy, because in the tutorial it's easy, but actually I had some issues. But it's okay. And the user role management, as I didn't really know how to manage the capabilities of every user to display some things or not. And about the non-technical, as it's my first big project, I had no idea where to start and what to do. So I just did what I learned at school, starting with the back end and next the front end, etc. But yeah, as it's not very easy, the time management is quite complicated, because yeah, I wanted to complete the back end, but then I had the front end to continue, and then bugs, and then it implies stress. But finally, it's working, and that's good. About the future, as I said, it's an intranet for design for a company that will be created soon. So I want to design it especially for a drone company. So I want to add an OpenStreetView map in order to look at map directly on the dashboard or in the intranet. I want to improve the design, because for now I don't think it's really beautiful. And I want obviously to add specific tools for the image study. And the deployment that I haven't started yet, as I don't think my web service is finished, so I'll think about it later. And thanks for your attention. If you have any question. Yes.
Have you checked if there is already some competitors in terms of products? I mean, open source or a SaaS solution who can do the same, like assign task or create event?
Actually, not really.
Okay, and it's also, and what is for you the benefits, the advantage to have this his own solution instead of something already created by someone else?
Because I am a student and it's a project for school, for him it's cheaper. And he wants to work with Python tools, as I said, and he needs help. Yes, he's.
Python was a requirement?
Yes, yes. Any other question?
Thank you. I have the question about your database. How many tables to use in the database, and what is the relation between the different database? And finally, how do you manage the data on your site web?
So as I said, I'm using SQLite database, and there is only one single table, thanks to the polymorphic ID for user, I mean, and I have another table for the tasks. Okay. And I'm using this polymorphic identity to join them and retrieve the good data. Yeah.
Okay. And manage how do you manage the data?
To manage the data.
For example, to clear the data, or do you have an history, or?
Not really. Yeah, I have a delete function, but not a history for data. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, about database. I was very surprised to see a MongoDB database where, from what you've said, I think it was enough with MySQL, so maybe you can explain your choice.
Yes. Sure, because the imported files should be, how do we say, visible for every user, so I don't have to connect it to SQL database. So I was like, why not use a simple database like MongoDB in order to store easier. Yes.
What are the next steps for you to deploy it this year, and what are the next functionality also in your mind?
So I explained them on the last slide, the previous slide. So the future, yeah, as I said, have a map displayed, front end, etc. And for the deployment, so my friend has a NAS, so I never used it. So we'll do it together. And yes, the idea in the future is that he can use this intranet in his company.
I'm sorry.
Yes?
It's a trick question, and I think I know the answer, but it's okay. I wanted to know if you thought about protection against brute force for the login part on your intranet, since it's a secure area.
Yes. About the security, I'm using JSON web token. So when you connect, you have a token, and about the password, they are crypted and hashed. And normally, I don't know, I'm not a cyber hacker, so I don't know what are the next steps. Okay. Thank you very much.
So, hello everyone, thanks for being here. So, let me present you Blood Runner, a first-person game shooter that I made. So, sorry about that. Sorry, it worked like a minute ago. Let's make like okay. Sorry for that. So my name is Masque Clément. I'm 22 years old. I'm from the C22 cohort, and I am the only developer of the project because I like to work with my own rhythm. Sorry for it again. So why did I make this project? So because when I first know about raycasting, it was way back before any demo day. So when we were able to pick a project, it was logic for me to pick raycasting game. It was a goal for me to make a game like this because I wasn't I wasn't thinking I will be able to make a game like this. My inspiration is an old game that I played when I was a kid. It's Wolfenstein. Maybe some know about this game. And let's open on the next slide. The timeline. Sorry. So I start by some documentation in organization. Then I make raycasting and floorcasting. I will talk about it later. I made sprite and the monster AI. It was kind of hard for it. And then I make a sound and level design and graphics interface. It was like a week ago only that I make my peers play the game. So the technology, I use Pygame because of his graphics and sound and event easy management. I use Numba because he optimizes performance and for complex mathematical compilation. And sorry, it was NumPy, and the snake is Numba. It improves the performance of your game by accelerating complex calculation. The code snippet, it's a function that's called castRay. So it's a simple raycasting function. It simulates a ray at a given angle and position. It moves the ray in the specific direction and returns the depth of the obstacle. The challenge for me, it was time management and shadow. Because making realistic shadow is really hard. So I use AI like GitHub Copilot or GPT to improve this issue. The technique and interest for me, it was that I make the game alone from scratch. I use a lot of tutorials and help from my peers, but I'm kind of proud of the project because I make it alone from zero. Let's try the game. So the official final version of the game is a point. Sorry, it's not a point app on Mac. It's a point sorry, I don't use a lot of Windows, but the final version of the game is on via a link on GitHub. So I'm going to run the game with my EDIE. Sorry for it. So let's start a new random. So you need to kill all the enemy and then find the exit menu. There is a caporal that gives you the mission. So I have a story mode and a random mode. I just launched the random. Let's find the last monster. When you finish, there is a... Sorry for the mic. When you finish, there is a little exit door, and you need to find the caporal. Right there. So you go to the next level, and there is 5 levels like this. So thanks for the demo. And do you got some questions?
Yes. Why a video game as project?
So I like cyber security. That's what I want to do. But I wanted to make a game. I don't find it boring to do something else, but I find it more fun to do a game because I could do, I don't know, a web server, just a website, but I find it more fun to make a game. Sorry.
We had a brief overview of the menu settings, and I think I thought something like new random. Maybe it relates to the map or something. Can you tell us about maybe the map and this concept?
So we have 5, sorry. And if you do a new story, it will be to 0 to 5. And if you do random mode, load a random map, and you will continue to do other map, but randomly, not 0, 1, 2, 3. Another question, maybe?
If you go to the code snippet page, why your comments are in French and not in English? Is it a decision, or there is a reason behind?
Because I prefer to comment in French. I think when you look at the code, it's more logic. If I work with someone else that don't really know English, maybe it will be easier for them. But if you're in a company and they want to have English comment, it's not a problem to comment with English language, but I prefer in French, personally.
What's the next feature do you want to develop?
In the end of the new story mode, we should have a boss that we don't have. It should be there, but it don't work. So I delete that feature. Maybe I will put it again later.
I'm sorry, you explain later the IA in your project. Can you explain? Yeah, please. Thank you.
So basically, the monster can hear you, but there is no discrete feature, so it don't work enough. This feature, but they can get afraid when they are low HP, so they run away. But if another enemy are around them, they will come in horde, like a zombie horde, and that's kinda the only IA that I could do a better IA, but I like the one that we have, that I have. Yes.
So you talked a lot about raycasting. I think I understood that it's the reflections that we do see on the floor. Does it has another goal, the raycasting, such as on the walls, for example, maybe changing the lighting or something, or is it just for the floor?
For the floor, it's floor casting. It's basically the same as raycasting, but it's for the floor. Raycasting is only for the wall. So raycasting is kind of limited because you cannot jump, you cannot have stairs or anything like this. So I think if I have to make another game, I won't pick raycasting, but ray tracing, where you can jump and have a vertical gameplay. But yeah, did I respond to your question? Yes. Another question, maybe.
You speak about the cybersecurity and about this project. What is the skill to learn in about the cybersecurity or no?
No, this game doesn't have any. Don't ask skill for in cybersecurity. No, I talk about it because I could do a software about cybersecurity, but I think with time and I won't have the time to do what I could do in cybersecurity. So for me, it was more logic to make a little game because of the time and the money, and I was alone. So I don't think I could do personally anything in cybersecurity right now.
Okay.
No database.